Good morning, one and all. I welcome you all to Ganesh IAS Academy. In today's session, we'll be seeing science and technology based current affairs from the date November 1st to November 6th, 2023. Let us get into the news articles one by one. The first news that we are going to discuss here is carbon nanoflorets. What are these carbon nanoflorets? Why are they in news? And who have developed this? All these details we need to understand. So yes, recently researchers at IIT Bombay have created carbon nanoflorets which are capable of converting sunlight into heat with unmatched efficiency. What is the percentage of efficiency? Let us understand. And then it is converting sunlight into heat. That is what the main purpose of this carbon nanoflorets is. And how are they prepared? All those details, let us understand. And this innovative development holds the potential to revolutionize the sustainable heating solutions. Okay, at present we are hugely dependent on fossil fuels for heating purposes, but then this will revolutionize sustainable heating solution. This will be a sustainable heating solution which will minimize the carbon footprint. Generally, fossil fuels will be having a lot of carbon footprint, whereas this carbon nanoflorets is going to overcome that issue. Okay. And then carbon nanoflorets demonstrate an impressive light absorption efficiency of 87%. Here we saw it is having unmatched efficiency, and the percentage here is 87%. The light absorption efficiency here is 87%, which is huge actually. Okay. Next, they can absorb multiple frequency of sunlight, which is very important. Generally, we are using traditional solar thermal materials which will absorb only visible and ultraviolet light, whereas this material, that is carbon nanofluoride, will be absorbing infrared, visible, and then ultraviolet light. Even infrared is being absorbed. Okay, infrared radiation is actually a heat radiation. Okay, even that is being absorbed here. That is why the efficiency here goes to the level of 87%. Okay, what else do we have to understand? The designing process or the preparation of these nanoflorets, carbon nanoflorets. Okay, so in the first step, a special form of silicon dust called as DFNS, that is dendritic fibrous nanosilica. It is heated in a furnace. Okay, it is a special form of silicon dust. Its name is dendritic fibrous nanosilica, and it is heated in a furnace. The next step will be introduction of acetylene gas. Okay, so they are going to introduce acetylene gas in this chamber, in that furnace chamber, which will facilitate carbon deposition, and it will turn this silicon dust into, it will turn the silicon dust into a black colored substance because of the black colored coating of the carbon deposition. Okay, then the black powder is collected and treated with strong chemical that dissolves this DFNS, that is dendritic fibrous nanosilica, and it will leave behind the carbon nanoparticles. Okay, and then this carbon nanoparticle will be spherical. Okay, they will be spherical in shape. It will be bead like shape, and then they will be having cone shaped pits. In the next slide we will see the picture of how this carbon nanoflorets will be looking. So they will be having, they are spherical in shape, and then they will be having cone shaped pits in them, thus forming nanoflorets, carbon nanoflorets, which will resemble marigold flower. You all might have seen marigold flower, and then this carbon nanoflorets will be looking like a marigold flower when observed under microscope. So this is how carbon nanoflorets will be looking. See, like marigold flowers, and then these are the pits. They are the conical pits that they are talking about. Okay. Next is, it has a unique structure. Okay, what is the unique structure here? The structure of this nanofloret is composed of carbon cones, like we already mentioned, and then this carbon cone minimizes the light reflection and ensures maximum internal absorption. Okay, so this is the cone that they are talking about, and this cone minimizes light reflection. When light falls, it won't reflect back here after hitting the walls of the cone. Okay, it won't reflect back, rather it will cause internal reflection. Okay, so it will maximum internal absorption. Okay, internally it will get absorbed. Okay, and then this distinctive design captures and retains sunlight, which is converting this light energy into thermal energy. Moreover, there is minimal heat dissipation in this design of carbon nanofluorettes having conical pits. The heat dissipation is very minimal. That is also an important feature of this carbon nanofluorettes. And what are all its application? One main application here is heating water efficiency. Okay, so generally at present we are heavily dependent on fossil fuels for heating, as we mentioned already. And now we are going for these carbon nanofluorettes. See the efficiency here. 1 square meter coating of carbon nanofluorettes can vaporize approximately 5 liters of water within an hour. Okay, just 1 square meter of carbon nanofluoride coating over any material will be sufficient to vaporize approximately 5 liters of water in an hour. Okay, and this surpasses the performance of the commercial solar stills we have at present. Next is carbon nanofluorettes are ideal for water heating applications, which offers sustainable and cost effective solution which reduces reliance on fossil fuels. This we already know. And then nanofluorettes can be applied in diverse surfaces, which is very important. Okay, so it can be applied over any surfaces for this purpose. Okay, so it can be applied over paper, metal, or terracotta clay. Okay, thus making it a versatile material for various application. Moreover, it has an excellent stability and longevity. That is, these fluorettes exhibit exceptional stability with minimum lifetime of 8 years. This is its longevity here. It has a minimum lifetime of 8 years. So these are all the details which we need to understand about these carbon nanofluorettes, its structure, what is its unique structure, and how is that unique structure going to help us. Okay, the topic that we are going to discuss now is white hydrogen. What is white hydrogen? Let us understand, and why is it in news? Two scientists in northeastern France have discovered a substantial deposit of white hydrogen, which is considered one of the largest concentration of this energy source ever found. Okay, so they have found it in northeastern part of France, and they have found a substantial deposit of white hydrogen, which is considered to be one of the largest concentration of white hydrogen ever found. Okay, now we need to understand in detail about what is this white hydrogen and what are the different types of hydrogen we have. This is what we'll be discussing here. Now, this white hydrogen also referred to as natural gold or geologic hydrogen. Very important, it can be asked like this. Okay, it is also called as natural hydrogen, gold hydrogen, or geologic hydrogen, and it is naturally produced in the earth's crust, and it is considered to be a potential clean energy source, which is very important. Okay, why is it clean? Let us understand in the upcoming slides. Next is, although abundant in universe, it is typically existing in combination with other molecules. That is why the extraction of these white hydrogen is becoming a difficult task. Though there is a lot of reserve of white hydrogen, but its extraction is being a difficult process here. Why is hydrogen a clean source? Now let us understand that. Hydrogen, when burnt, only produces water, making it an ideal clean energy source. That is because it produces only water as the byproduct. Okay, and then hydrogen is a very clean source here. Next is, industries with high energy demands like aviation industry, shipping industry, and steel making industry could benefit from hydrogen as an alternative to renewables like solar and wind. Actually, now we are moving from fossil fuels to solar and wind energy. Okay, so this alternative fuel or alternative renewable fuels are being uh, like they are emerging these days. We are improving their technologies. Okay, but then this white hydrogen will serve as an alternative to these renewables. Okay, next is, the most commercially produced hydrogen is derived from energy intensive processes which are powered by fossil fuels. But then now at present we are producing hydrogen, but then they are all commercially produced and they are energy intensive. That is because they consume a lot of fossil fuel. We are producing hydrogen, but then in the production of hydrogen also we are using fossil fuel, which is not a good thing. Again, it will be having a carbon footprint. Okay, so this must be avoided. That is the reason why white hydrogen becomes important. There are different types of hydrogen based on, like, it is categorized by its colors. Okay, not the color of the hydrogen, but the process by which it is made. Based on that, the classification is differentiated. Okay, so the first one is green hydrogen, which is produced through electrolysis. Okay, so it is produced through electrolysis, electricity is used, and the electricity here is sourced from renewable sources. Okay, like solar, wind, and tidal power. Then only it becomes green hydrogen. Electricity is used, one thing. Next is, but then the electricity is sourced from renewable sources, then only it is green hydrogen. Next comes gray hydrogen, which is generated through fossil fuels. Okay, like coal and gas, and this is going to currently, I mean, this accounts currently for 95% of the total production in South Asia, which is very huge. Okay, so we are heavily dependent on gray hydrogen at present. And then we also have blue hydrogen, which is produced using electricity, just like green hydrogen, but the electricity here is generated by burning fossil fuel. Okay, but they also have technologies to prevent the carbon released in the process from entering into the atmosphere. This is also important. They are producing electricity here from the fossil fuel, but then the carbon released in that process is not released into the atmosphere, and that electricity is used for production of hydrogen here. Okay, if such is the situation, then it becomes blue hydrogen, whereas here it is altogether a different situation where renewable sources are here used. Here fossil fuel is used, but then the carbon dioxide or the carbon emission is not let into the atmosphere. That differentiation we must have to understand. Next is brown hydrogen. What is brown hydrogen? It is produced using coal, okay, especially coal, where the emissions are released into the air. Okay, that is brown hydrogen. Next comes pink hydrogen, where it is generated through electrolysis again, but then it is powered by nuclear energy. These are emerging technologies now. Okay, so what is pink hydrogen? It is generated through electrolysis again, but then the electricity here is got from nuclear powers. Okay, nuclear energy. And then nuclear produced hydrogen can also be referred to as purple hydrogen or red hydrogen. Okay, next is turquoise hydrogen. What is this turquoise hydrogen? It is made using a process called methane pyrolysis. Okay, if hydrogen is made through a process called methane pyrolysis, then it becomes turquoise hydrogen. Thus, here in this methane pyrolysis process, hydrogen and solid carbon is formed. Moreover, we also have yellow hydrogen. What is yellow hydrogen? It is actually related to the green hydrogen that we already saw. Okay, in green hydrogen, they are using electricity from renewable sources. But here in yellow hydrogen, they are using electricity, but the only renewable source that they are going to use is solar power. Okay, so it is a relatively new phrase for hydrogen made through electrolysis using solar power only. Okay, if it is sourced through solar power only, then it is yellow hydrogen. Any other, like any form of renewables if used, then it becomes green hydrogen. Okay, so yellow hydrogen will be a subcategory of green hydrogen only. So these are all the details which we need to know. Next is, now coming back to the topic, that is white hydrogen. White hydrogen is naturally occurring geological hydrogen which is found in underground deposits, and they are created through fracking. Fracking is actually fracturing, also called as fracturing. Okay, so fracking process, they cut open the rock and then they will be extracting. Methane is also extracted using such processes, and even here white hydrogen is extracted through such process. Okay, and what are all the advantages of using white hydrogen? First thing is, it causes no carbon dioxide emission when used as fuel, because it is a clean fuel. The only byproduct that it produces is water. Okay, next is, it is compatible with existing infrastructure and technologies, which is very important. When there is a new product obtained, then there will be a need for newer infrastructure and technology, but here no newer infrastructure and technology is needed. It is compatible with the existing ones. Okay, next is, it is cheaper and more efficient, like we already saw. and then it is abundant and renewable in nature. These are all the advantages of white hydrogen. What is its potential and what are all the challenges does this white hydrogen have? First thing is, white hydrogen deposits have been identified worldwide, including in the regions like US, Eastern Europe, Russia, Australia, Oman, France and Mali. Okay, and of these places, some were discovered accidentally and others were found by actively searching for them. It is both ways. Okay, accidentally, when they are in search of some other thing, they will find white hydrogen, or else they will go in search of white hydrogen and find it. Okay, so there are two ways here. And then the potential global reserve could be in tens of billions of tons. Okay, there is a huge reserve, there might be a huge reserve far exceeding the current and predicted annual production rates, but all of these is not economically viable to extract because they may be difficult to extract here. So these are all the potential and challenges with respect to white hydrogen. Okay, so this is what we need to know from this news article. The topic that we are going to discuss now is LCH Prachand. What is this LCH Prachand? Let us understand why is it in the news. The Army's light combat helicopter. Okay, so LCH here is light combat helicopter. Okay, its name is Prachand here. Okay, it successfully carried out inaugural firing of 70 mm rockets and then 20 mm turret guns both by day and night. And here both Army and Air Force have inducted this indigenous LCH Prachand in small numbers. So we need to know the details of what this LCH Prachand is. Okay, it is actually a multi-role attack helicopter here. It is a multi-role attack helicopter which has been customized as per the requirements of the army or the armed forces to operate both in desert terrain as well as in high altitudinal sectors, which is important. Okay, so it is capable of being operated in desert terrains and also in high altitude sectors. And then this LCH is the only attack helicopter in the world that can land and take off at an altitude of 5,000 meters, which is very, very important. Okay, so it is the only attack helicopter in the world which can land as well as take off at an altitude of 5,000 meters, and it is also capable of firing a range of air to ground and air to air missiles. Okay, surface to ground, I mean air to ground, or else air to air, it can launch missiles. Okay, fire. Next is, they are designed and manufactured by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited under the project LCH, Light Combat Helicopter. And then this LCH project can be traced to 1919 Kargil War. Only after this 1919 Kargil War, we actually felt the need for having such an helicopter which is capable of doing air to air strike and air to ground strike. Okay, so the need for the dedicated platform was there, and then this LCH is capable of operating at high altitudes and delivering precision strikes. Okay, that is why we went for LCH project. And then it is powered by twin Shakti engine. Okay, even such details are important. Sometimes in UPSC prelims, such questions are also asked about the engine type, about the fuel type, and etc. Okay, so it is powered by twin Shakti engine, which is a collaborative effort of HAL, that is Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, along with France's Safran company. Okay, and then this LCH is 5.8 ton class combat helicopter, which is with potent ground attack and aerial combat capability. So its weight is 5.8 ton, and then the helicopter can fly at a maximum speed of 288 kilometers per hour and has a combat radius of 500 kilometers, which can go up to a service ceiling of 21,000 feet, which is the largest in the world. Okay, which is the tallest in the world, making it ideal for operation even in Siachen area of Kashmir. Okay, next is, it incorporates several stealth features. Okay, secret features here. like reduced radar and infrared signatures, crash-worthy features of improved survivability and armed protection system, and even night attack capability is also there for these LCH Prachand. And then this LCH helicopter can be deployed to assume air defense, anti-tank role of high altitude, and then counter-insurgency can also be, counter-insurgency operations can also be adopted, and then the search and rescue operations are also possible using this LCH, and they are equipped with advanced technology which can be used to destroy the enemy's air defense. This is also possible here with LCH, and it can be deployed to perform combat research and rescue operations, bunker bursting operation, counter-insurgency operation in jungle and urban areas, and they also support the ground forces. So these are all the details which we need to know about this LCH Prachand. Okay, this actually comes under the topic of defense technology. That is why we are seeing here in science and technology topic. Let us now discuss about Project Kusha. What is this Project Kusha? Why is it in the news? Okay, this topic is actually related to the defense technology. So, Indian Defence Acquisition Council has recently cleared the procurement of Indian Long Range Surface to Air Missile, SAM, okay, Surface to Air Missile, which is under this Project Kusha. Okay, so we need to know the details of what Project Kusha is. Other than that, Indian Air Force, to strengthen its defense capabilities, has deployed 3 S-400 Triumph air defense missile, which is again a surface-to-air missile along the borders of China and Pakistan. Okay, so we'll be seeing the details of this S-400 Triumph air defense missile also, and this S-400 in India, okay, in the year 2018-2019, India signed a contract with Russia for 5 S-400 missile. Of these 3 we already got, okay, 3 already arrived, and then the remaining 2 are delayed due to the conflict between Russia and Ukraine now. And then we also have yet another defense system, that is Iron Dome system of Israel. This is also compared to this Project Kusha. How? Because this Project Kusha is expected to rival the effectiveness of this renowned S-400 that we got from Russia, and also yet another is this Iron Dome of Israel. So we'll be seeing the details of what Project Kusha is, what is this S-400 Triumph air defense missile, and then what is this Iron Dome system of Israel. All these 3 will be discussing in this news article. So Project Kusha, it was led by Defense Research and Development Organization, that is DRDO, and it is an ambitious defense initiative by India which is aimed at developing its long-range air defense system by the year 2028-29, which is very important here. Okay, so they are going to develop its long-range air defense system by the year 2028-29, and then this long-range air defense system will be capable of detecting and destroying enemy projectiles and armor, including cruise missile, stealth fighter jets, and drones at long range. That is what its capabilities is. And then it will consist of 3 types of interceptor missiles with a range of 150 kilometer, 250 kilometer, and 350 kilometer, which is long, I mean the largest here. So that is why it is called as long range surface to air missile. And then advanced long range surveillance and fire control radars are also present in this Project Kusha. Okay, so this is what we need to know about Project Kusha. Next we are moving to S-400 Triumph missiles that we got from Russia. Okay, so this is a mobile surface to air missile system which was developed by Russia, which is capable of intercepting and destroying various aerial targets like aircraft, drone, cruise missile, and ballistic missile. It is also capable of attacking a ballistic missile. Okay, cruise missile is this and ballistic missile is this. Next is S-400 has a range of up to 400 kilometer, which is again large range here, and at an altitude of up to 30 kilometer it can operate, and it can engage up to 36 targets simultaneously with 4 different types of missiles, which is a huge target here. Okay, and then it is the most dangerous operationally developed modern long range surface to air missile here. Okay, so it is modern long range surface to air missile in the world, and it is also far better than the United States terminal high altitude area defense system THAAD. Okay, so this THAAD actually belongs to USA. So what we are saying here, this S-400 is actually more efficient than this THAAD of USA. Next is Iron Dome system of Israel that we saw in the first slide. Okay, so it is a ground to air defense system that comprises radar and interceptor missiles and are capable of tracking and neutralizing any rocket or missiles fired towards the targets in Israel. Okay, so this is this Iron Dome, and then it was developed by the state-run Rafael Advanced Systems and Israel Aerospace Industries, and it was deployed in the year 2011. And then this dome has the range of close to 70 kilometers, whereas S-400 has 400 kilometers range. The long range surface to air missile which we are developing under Project Kusha has 3 different ranges, that is 150, 250 and 350, whereas here this Iron Dome system has range of close to 70 kilometers. Okay, and it has 3 crucial components, that is detection and tracking radar, battle management and weapon control, and then the missile launcher. These are all the 3 important components of this Iron Dome system of Israel. So this is what we need to know from this news article. The topic that we are going to discuss now is Vitrimer. What is this Vitrimer? Why is it in the news? Let us understand. In the global pursuit for eco-friendly alternative to conventional plastics, the University of Tokyo researchers have successfully crafted a sustainable plastic. Okay, so they have created a sustainable plastic which is biodegradable based on an epoxy resin, that is Vitrimer. Okay, so we need to know about the new product, this new sustainable plastic that these researchers have found. Okay, so this novel plastic variant known as VPR, it is also called as VPR, that is because this Vitrimer here is incorporated with polyrotoxane. Okay, so it is incorporated with polyrotoxane, that is why it is called as Vitrimer polyrotoxane, VPR. Okay, and this integrates this polyrotoxane molecule into the synthesis process, thus addressing the brittleness associated with Vitrimer. Generally Vitrimer is brittle. Okay, it is breakable. I mean, if it falls down with sufficient force, then it becomes, I mean, it shatters, that is brittleness. Okay, but here because of the addition of this polyrotoxane, this brittleness is addressed here. Okay, next is, what are all the unique features and characteristics of this VPR that they have recently found? First thing is shape memory properties. Okay, this VPR retains a rigid structure at low temperatures due to robust internal chemical bonds, whereas it, when it is taken to higher temperatures, it can adapt to various shapes. Very important. Okay, so when it is at lower temperatures, it is robust and rigid. Okay, when it goes to higher temperatures, it can be reshaped. Okay, even when it is taken to 150 degrees Celsius, it can be reshaped. Okay, next is biodegradability, which we already discussed. That is, this VPR demonstrates the promising biodegradability with 25% breakdown in seawater over 30 days. This is very important. Okay, so within 30 days 25% breakdown can happen. And then the constituent polyrotoxane that we saw in VPR, this PR is polyrotoxane. Okay, so this polyrotoxane actually serves as a potential food source for marine life, which is very important. So even if it is thrown in the marine ecosystem, it will get degraded over a period of time, and then the component in that, that is polyrotoxane, will be acting as a source for the marine life here. Okay, which is beneficial to the marine ecosystem. And then there is also self-healing abilities, that is, This innovative plastic exhibits impressive self-healing capabilities, recovering 15 times faster than the typical epoxy resin retrievers. Okay, when this polyrotaxane is added, its self-healing ability is improving. So this is what we need to know here. Moreover, we said that these are biodegradable plastic, right? So what is this biodegradability of plastic? Let us understand. So biodegradable plastics are type of plastic materials that can undergo decomposition through the action of living organism. That is why it is biodegradable. Bio here is the living organisms, okay, biotic, okay, like bacteria and other natural processes into the natural elements like water, carbon dioxide or biomass. So the plastic here is converted into water, carbon dioxide and biomass, okay. Moreover, these plastics offer a promising solution to global plastic waste crisis as they minimize the environmental pollution and also reduce the accumulation of non-degradable plastic waste in landfills as well as in ocean. Okay, so generally plastic is dumped into landfills or else it is thrown into ocean, which is causing a main problem here. Okay, but when biodegradable plastic is thrown, that will not cause that much of harm. Okay, because it is degradable over a period of time. So these are all the different types of biodegradable plastics that we have. It is just for you to have look at. Okay, so bio-based plastic, synthetic biodegradable plastic, starch-based plastic, polylactic acid, polyhydroxyalkonates, and polybutane succinate, polyhydroxybutyrate. Next is polyethylene oxide, and then copolyester, also called as poly butylene succinate adipate. Okay, so these are all the biodegradable plastic. You can have a look at it, and then these options may be given, and then the question may go like this: which of the following is a biodegradable plastic? So if only if you have a knowledge, a basic knowledge about these plastics, then you can answer such questions. Okay, which is important. The topic that we are going to discuss now is Helicobacter pyroli. What is this Helicobacter pyroli? Why is it in the news? It is actually a bacteria. Okay, so let us understand why this Helicobacter pyroli is in news. So Indian researchers have developed a groundbreaking two-step PCR based assay for detecting this Helicobacter pyroli infection, thus determining the clarithromycin. What is this clarithromycin? This clarithromycin is actually an antibiotic given for treatment of Helicobacter pyroli. Okay, and then this clarithromycin resistance is also studied in this particular study, and then distinguishing drug sensitive strains are also studied here. And then this molecular diagnostic tool reduces the detection time. They are going to use this two-step PCR based assay to find the presence of Helicobacter pyroli here, and then this molecular diagnostic tool is going to reduce the detection time from weeks to just 6 to 7 hours, and then it exhibits remarkable accuracy, boasting 100% sensitivity and specificity, which is very important here. Okay, so it boasts 100% sensitivity and specificity, and then it reduces the detection time from few weeks to 6 to 7 hours, which is a huge feat here. Okay, next is we need to know about the details of what this H. pyroli or Helicobacter pyroli is. So this Helicobacter pyroli, often abbreviated as H. pyroli, is a type of bacteria here, okay, that can infect the stomach and the upper part of the small intestine, which is important. Okay, so it infects the stomach and it also infects the upper part of the small intestine, and it is a common bacterial infection associated with various gastrointestinal conditions like gastritis. Okay, when people have gastritis, that is inflammation of the stomach lining. Okay, whenever you see this term, it means there is some inflammation. This we need to know. Okay, so gastritis means that is inflammation of the stomach lining. So people who have this gastritis are more vulnerable for the attack of H. pyroli. Next is peptic ulcers. Okay, what is peptic ulcer? Sores and lesions in the lining of the stomach or the duodenum, which is the first part of the small intestine, which we already saw, the upper part of the small intestine, that is called as duodenum. Okay, so peptic ulcer means there are sores and lesions in the lining of the stomach and also the upper part of the intestine. So people with these peptic ulcer and gastritis will get affected by H. pylori, or else it is also the other way around. Okay, people who are getting affected by H. pylori will get gastritis and peptic ulcer. Okay, next is, it is uniquely adapted to survive in harsh and acidic environment, which is important. Okay, so they can survive in harsh and acidic environment of stomach, because stomach produces HCl, which is very acidic. Okay, and then this infection with H. pylori usually occur during childhood. And H. pylori infections are typically harmless. Generally, they are harmless. They are a leading cause of ulcer in stomach and small intestine. So they cause ulcer. Generally, they are harmless, but then they are leading cause of ulcers in stomach and small intestine. And this bacterium can alter its surrounding, thus reducing the acidity, which allows it to thrive more effectively, which is very important here. That is, it is going to alter, it is going to adapt to survive even in those harsh acidic conditions. And then the spiral shape of H. pylori. So here the important point here is it is spiral shaped. Okay, so the spiral shape of H. pylori enables it to penetrate the stomach lining, where it is shielded by the mucus, making it inaccessible to the body's immune cells, which is important here. Okay, so they are spirally shaped. Next, what are all the symptoms of H. pylori? So most individuals with H. pylori infection remain asymptomatic. They won't show any symptoms, showing no symptoms or signs. But when the symptoms do appear due to H. pylori infection, then they are often related to conditions like gastritis and peptic ulcer that we already saw. And these symptoms may include ache and burning pain in the abdomen, increased stomach pain on empty stomach, nausea, loss of appetite, and then unintentional weight loss. Okay, so all these are the important symptoms of H. pylori infection. Generally, they are asymptomatic, but when symptoms occur, when people have conditions like gastritis and peptic ulcer. Next is, they typically, the typical treatment for H. pylori infection involves a combination of antibiotics and proton pump inhibitor, which reduces the stomach acid production, because they are actually accustomed to that acidic environment. So when stomach's acid production is reduced, then those bacteria will die. Okay, that is done by this proton pump inhibitor, and they are also using antibiotic to kill the bacteria here. And this treatment regimen lasts for up to 14 days, and it is often referred to as triple therapy. Okay, moreover, the present condition of this H. pylori in India, what are all the problems due to H. pylori? Let us understand. One thing is increasing resistance. It is becoming increasing resistant, that is antibiotic resistant. Okay, antimicrobial resistant here. Okay, so India faces a growing challenge of clarithromycin, which is a drug used for controlling H. pylori. Okay, so these H. pylori are becoming resistant to this drug, that is clarithromycin, resulting in decreased treatment efficiency. That is one main problem. Next is asymptomatic infection. With most of the H. pylori infections are asymptomatic, only 10 to 15% of the cases lead to peptic ulcer disorder and stomach ulcer. And then what is its prevalence in India? This infection affects 60 to 70% of Indian population. Very huge. Okay, so it affects 60 to 70% of Indian population, acquired in childhood and persisting if not treated, which is important. And this gastritic cancer risk is also possible with H. pylori. That is, H. pylori infection is a significant risk factor of gastritic cancer. So this is what we need to know about this H. pylori. I hope you found the session to be very useful and informative. Let us see in the next session. Thank you.